Thanks, Mr. John. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm happy to be here again. This is our second trip building boats, and we had a great time last semester. Thomas and Francisco were key parts of that building, and they're going to be here today to help us out for this session because they've already built these models in these boats. How many of you guys have paddled a boat? Paddled one. Okay. Well, you're going to get to build a boat and paddle it. The first thing you're going to build are models, and you're going to build a full-size boat later this summer, and then we'll take them out and paddle them. I don't know if you had a chance to ever show, if you ever saw the video, but there's a video of these guys out there on the water at the bay off on St. George Island paddling them. So that's what we're going to do. Now, before we get started, I want to point out these are the kits you're going to be building the models from. And this is not a toy. This is going to be a real model. This is a scale model of the big boat you're going to be building. Does anybody know what scale model means? What do you mean by say scale model? Kind of, yeah. Well, smaller, but there's another key point to scale model. What does scale model mean to somebody? I know Francisco knows, so he doesn't get a chance to answer. Okay, a scale model is a model that's often smaller, usually smaller than the big boat, but it also has exactly the same dimensions as the big boat. For example, the one you're going to build is going to be 15.5 inches long. I'm sorry, it's going to be 31 inches long. The big boat is 15.5 feet long. This is a scale model where 1/2 inch on this boat equals 1 foot on the large boat. So every 1/2 inch on this boat right here is 1 foot on the large one. So if this is 31 inches long, divide 31 by 2 and you get what? 15.5. So this is a scale model. 1/2 inch on this boat equals 1 foot on the big boat. So a lot of math in building boats. You have to know math. Before we get started on these, please don't play with the kits. I'm going to use Captain Gary. Captain Gary is a teacher. He's lived all over the United States and New York and other places. Graduated from Morehead University in Kentucky. He's one of the boat builders at our school. He's going to talk you through some of the rules while building the boat and some of the terminology. You have to learn how to talk about boats. You have to learn all kinds of new words like gunnel and chine, things you probably never heard before. It's part of the fun of it. So before we get started, I'm going to turn this over to Gary. And Captain Gary is going to take you from here for a few minutes.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, that's it. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go over a few brief rules that I like to use when I'm working with young people. Now, list them on the board here. This is boat building, but also we're going to be focusing and try to teach you guys other skills like how to believe in yourself, have self-esteem, how to present yourself, how to, like Captain Ron said, you have math, we got science, we got a lot of different kinds of curriculum that we're going to be teaching. Now, these rules are very important, and the first rule I like to use is believe in yourself. And this is a great rule to me because if you don't have the confidence that you can do it yourself, and then it's going to be very hard. So first of all, I want everybody to believe in themselves, okay? The second one, which is very important, is be patient. This is very important. A lot of young people, and either people my age, have not learned to slow down and take your time. If you take your time with these things, you're going to make some great models and going to build a great boat. Rule number 3, be honest, okay? Problems are going to arise, and the easiest way to correct these problems is if everyone be honest, okay? And the final rule, and this is also very important, listen at all times. Listen at all times. Does everybody understand that? Now, it's important with listening. Listening is a skill, and it must be taught, okay? And I'm going to teach you guys about listening. Listening is primarily done with your eyes, okay? You have to listen with your eyes. Because if I tell you to go that way, if you're not looking, how will you know what that way is? Right? Okay, so very important that you be looking at the person when they're speaking to you, and so that you can gather all information, and just in case emergency comes up, you know which way to go. If I say a fire, run that way. If you're not looking, you may run in the wrong direction, okay? Now, safety rules. It's very important that you abide by all safety rules. We're going to be using some equipment, not so much on these smaller boats, but when we get ready to build a big boat, we're going to be using power tools. Mostly myself and Captain Ron are going to operate it, but you guys could be around the tools as well. Some of the tools are hand tools, but they're very sharp. So it's very important that you take your time and that you abide by all the safety rules. Does everybody understand that? Yes, sir. Okay. We have a terminology list. And it's a list of terms. Anybody know what starboard is? Anybody ever heard of starboard? Yes, it's a certain part of the deck on the ship. The starboard is actually the right side of the ship. Okay. And anybody ever heard of the word port? Anybody ever heard of port? If starboard is the right, what is port? The left. Good job. That's right. Okay, so you're going to be learning some new terminologies for boats, and they don't use the same words that we use in everyday language. Everybody understand that? Now, in boat building, you have to use a little strength. You have to use a little energy. So hopefully, before we start getting started and we build regular every day, we get a chance to maybe get up and I like to do a little exercise. I like to do some push-ups, some jumping jacks, run around the court a little bit, get the blood flowing, because once we start building the actual boat, you're gonna need to use a little power. It's just not easy. It's not writing. It's not like writing down words, but you have to use a little power. Everybody understand? Now, those of you who do fairly well on this test, hopefully we can get up a good, nice reward for the test. It's going to be a 10 terminology test and then also a vocabulary test. So you get a chance to score points on a spelling and vocabulary. Now let's get into boat building. Okay, yeah, we'll take this here. Now this is not exactly the model that you guys are going to build, but it's similar. The boat you're going to build will look like this on both ends. It won't look like this. Now there's another class who'll be building this boat, and we just so happen to have brought the wrong model today. We apologize for that. But nonetheless, most of the parts on it are the same. This part of the boat, which is the front part of the boat, is referred to as the bow. Everybody say bow. What is that? Front part. Okay. Hold on. Let me back up. I need to know everyone's name. So we're going to start with this young man right here. And then, hold on, Dorian. I want to give you your name, your age, and what you like to be when you grow up. It's something, a future occupation, a bus driver, police officer, something of that nature. Age. Good job. Who would know that? You gotta learn to speak up.
My name is Capri. I'm 10 years old and I want to be a doctor.
Good job. Next.
My name is Leticia and I'm 12 and I want to be a model.
A model, great.
My name is Jackson. I'm 12 and I want to be a football player.
Football player, all right. All ready to go, Jackson.
My name is Nicholas and I'm 11 and I want to be the manager of Microsoft.
Okay, good job.
My name is
Dixon?
Dexter.
Dexter?
Basketball.
Play basketball, good job.
My name is Gavin. I'm 12 and I want to be a model.
Okie dokie. You, ma'am.
Hey, when I'm 11 and I want to be a model.
Great job.
My name is Leslie. I'm 11 and I want to be a vet.
Good job.
My name is John. I'm 10 and I want to be a Marine.
Okay, good job. You guys did a very good job. Now, a part of what I talked about earlier, presentation. You guys, some of y'all have little soft voices and whatnot, but and some of you guys are shy. But you guys will learn as the time goes by, and as we learn to present ourselves, that you must be speak clearly and loudly when you're talking to people, and then not be afraid. Everybody understand that? Okay, okay. You talk. You let people know who you are. You be confident, and you have to sound confident. Everybody understand that? Okay, good job. Now, let's get back to this boat. Now, we talked about the front of the boat being the what, Jackson? Good job. Nicholas, the rear of the boat is called the, you know what that is? The stern. Good job. Okay. You know what the rear of the boat is called? Good job. Okay. Now, we will be working with chine logs, and those reinforce the boat, and these are on the inside of the boat right here. And they kind of make the shape of the boat. The part of the boat right here in the front is called the stem, and this is at the very forward of the bow, the stem. You sit in there, and it's also in your kits. And we'll get to that in a moment. The back of this boat, which is your boat, this boat for your class, will not have a transom, but that would be the back that makes the stern, the back portion that makes the stern. Seats. The boats will have seats. This boat you guys are building will have a seat in the middle, and is there one in the front? No. Okay, there's not one in the front. Okay. And that boat is less complicated than this. As you see, you only have about eight parts here, 8 pieces you're going to need. So, you know, your boat will not be as complex as this boat here. This boat has a lot of pieces. Everything you see in there has to be put into that in that boat. And come around so everybody can see. See all those pieces and parts? Now the boat you guys are building will not require all these parts and pieces. Okay, I think we're ready to start.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Captain Gary. One more rule I wanted to add to Captain Gary talked about. When the captains are talking, everybody listens. So if Captain Gary's talking, you listen, I listen. If I'm talking, then Captain Gary and all you guys listen, okay? It is important, as he emphasized safety. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Nobody gets hurt. So safety is going to be of primary importance. So, okay, now, let's talk about the boat. What you're going to do. You thought you were going to build a boat. You didn't know you were going to learn all this stuff, did you? Well, it's part of the deal. So, everybody take your kits and unwrap them and lay them out on the table. And I need to get you another one. That's the wrong wood on that one. Yeah, I use that one. I think it's right. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, it's got a balsa base. Okay, unwrap them. Now, Captain Gary was talking about the parts of the boat. Now, remember, bow, stern, starboard, and port are directions on the boat. Stem, hull, bottom, chine logs are parts. So right now, you're going to unwrap the parts of your boat. We're going to talk about them for a second before we start building. Is that basswood or pine? That's also basswood. We need to get another bottom for that one. That's the wrong bottom. Here we go. Got plenty of spare kits here. Now, if you break a piece, don't worry about it. We got more. We got lots more. Because that does happen. Don't worry about it because it's going to happen once in a while. Nothing to get upset about. We all break pieces. I break them all the time. There you go. All right, let's look at a couple of parts. Everybody hold up this part. Now, on the model Captain Gary was talking about, that's the bottom of the boat. That's this part. We've already cut that kind of to shape. That's the bottom. You need to know these terms. Ms. Johnson's going to give you, we're going to give you a test at the end of the, as Captain Gary taught us, we're going to give you a test at the end of the class. Okay, everybody put that down in front of them. Kind of set it out here because you're not going to need that for a bit. And pick up one of these. Okay, those are the sides of the boat, and they're called the hull, H-U-L-L. That's this part of the boat right here. Those are the sides. Those are the ones that keep the water out. The bottom keeps you floating. The hulls keep the water out of the boat. You have 2 of those for each boat, a left and right. Okay, set those down. And hold up this piece. The piece is already glued together. That's called the frame. That's this part of the boat right here. It's called a frame. And the direction it lies on the boat, if you look at a boat like this, long ways is called axial, A-X-I-A-L. Crossways is called transverse. So the frame is a transverse structure that gives the boat its shape. Otherwise, just a couple of flat pieces of board together. If you don't put a frame in, your boat looks like this, and it won't float. The frame actually holds the whole sides apart. So everybody put that down, and you should have two of these. If you look at them from the end, they're triangular shaped. Those are called the stems. Remember, the bow is a direction on the boat. The stem, as Captain Gary was talking about, is a structural part at the bow of the boat. Those are the stems. You have two of them, one for the stern and one for the, you don't have any stems, okay? We can fix that real quick. Must have fallen out. There you go. Now the long pieces of wood you have in a little bundle, 4 of them, those are going to be used to form what are called, number 1, the chine logs that Captain Gary talked about. They go inside the boat. And then you're going to use some for the gunnels. That's the outside, the top of the hull. So you've got 4 directions of the boat, bow, stern, and when you're looking from the bow, stern of the boat forward, the starboard is on the right, port is on the left. When you start building the boats, we're going to be saying, okay, put your port side on. Put the bottom on. Tack the hull to the stem. So we're going to be using terms like that, so you need to know these. And the big boat's even more important to know those things. Okay, now, the top part of the hull is called the gunnel. This part is called the chine. When you have a sharp break in the hull in the bottom, it's called a chine. So the chine log is the piece of wood that reinforces the chine. Those are the terms, and that's the part you're going to be building. So any questions so far? Okay, now how do you know where to put parts? Anybody know? Where do you put the parts? They just go anywhere? Oh. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. Now, I have the plan, Captain Gary and I have the plans in our head for these models because we built a bunch of these things. So we're going to give you the plans as we go along. When it comes to the big boat, we're going to give you the plan on paper. And you have to do some measuring. So now that you have the plan, you're going to have to do a lot of measuring. I'm going to put a pencil on each table. The first thing we're going to do today is mark the position of the frame on the hulls. Now, your boat's not going to look like much. As Captain Gary pointed out, rule number 2, be patient. Excuse me, gentlemen, we got one captain talking, okay? Do you have a question? Okay, if you have a question, let me know. We'll be glad to answer questions, okay? But as Captain Gary said, be patient. This is not going to look like a boat today. All right, it's not going to look like a boat today. You're going to do some gluing, and we have to let the glue dry overnight. So, don't get in a hurry. Be patient. When we're doing these, we're not in a hurry. We exhibit something called craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is when you make something look good. It's just not stuck together haphazardly. It looks good. And so being patient, and believing that you can do it. You can do this. Believing you can do it and being patient with it, you'll get you a nice looking boat. We exhibit these at the Wooden Boat Show every year. The boat models you build will be on display downtown in April at the Wooden Boat Show. And you'll have your names on it, or we'll see what you built. So do a good job. Now the first measurement you're going to do is on the hull. Each hull has a B on one end. What do you think the B stands for? Bow, exactly. So when you get your hulls, put them together next to each other with the bow sides or the sides labeled B together. Because we're going to do some marking, we're going to do some measuring now. If you don't have a B on your hull, let me know. Find the B's and put them together. You guys want to help a little bit? You can show them where to go. You want to sit there. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Where did Miss Johnson go? Now, the reason we're doing this is we're going to measure the position of the frame on the boat. And the frame has to be in the same position on both hulls, both sides of the hull. So if you don't position them right, you can't mark them right. Okay. Thank you. That looks good. All right, good. Everybody got any questions so far? When you're building a big boat, it's going to take several days for it to look like a boat. Okay, now the frame, if you'll notice on this boat, the frame goes at some distance from the stern and the bow. So I have to mark that. Otherwise, your boat looks cockeyed. It looks, excuse me, do we have any yardsticks or anything here or tape measures? Yeah, I need something to measure about 15 inches. I didn't know. I forgot to ask them. Thank you. If you got a couple of them, we'd appreciate it. It'd be very helpful. Now, if you look at this boat also, the frame goes up and down straight on the bottom, on the hulls. In other words, it's perpendicular. Everybody know what a perpendicular means? Anybody know? What's not necessarily. Perpendicular means a specific thing. What's everybody think? Anybody know what that means? No, not quite. Where'd that marker go, Captain Gary? Oh, okay, can I borrow that for a second? Yeah, we're going to listen to geometry now. Didn't know that, did you? Perpendicular means a 90-degree angle. It means that two surfaces, one like this and one like this, meet at a 90-degree angle, called a right angle. The frame has to go perpendicular to the bottom of the hull. So we use this tool called a square. What this does when you set it properly, you can put this on the bottom of your frame. I got that set the wrong way, excuse me. You can put that on the bottom of your frame like this, and you can mark a 90-degree angle. That means this line is perpendicular to this line, so we're going to use that to mark the frame. Boat builders use this a lot. So we're going to use a lot of geometry. Now, if we get some yardsticks, I don't know if we got any or not. We'll have to see. That's okay. I meant to ask before this. I'm sorry. We didn't have any at the shop. They were all taken up to another place we're working. We'll have to share these for a few minutes. I don't have enough of them to go around for everybody. Yep. Right. So. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to measure. The frame goes 15 inches forward from the end of the stem. Oh, these don't have, this one doesn't have, that has a bow marking on it. There we go. There we go. I thought that was a little funny. It goes 16 inches back from the bow stem. So we can measure this, since we don't have 15-inch rulers, is you can measure the length of the entire boat by using your square. I'm going to walk it down the boat like this. Can everybody see what I'm doing? Can't. What I'm doing is putting one end at one end of the boat. I'm going to walk it down. So that's 12 inches. I want 15 inches, so that's 12 inches right there. How much is 15 minus 12? So I need 3 more inches. Now that's a stern. Is that the stern of the bow? 16. Oops. So let me start again. I'll start here with 12. And I add 4 16, so I want that's where I want my frame to go. So we're going to first mark one of the frames with a perpendicular line. So when I get my mark of where I want it to be, I set my square like this. So I have a perpendicular angle. I take my pencil and I draw a line. And that tells me where my frame goes, right there. That's the first thing you have to do. So I'm going to let each table start, and Captain Gary and I will help you out. So, okay, that's 6 inches right there, or 6 inches. 12 inches, and 4 more is 16. So from here, you guys, there you go. So where do you 16 inches going to be? 12, that's 12 inches, 13, 14, 15, 16. You have to have 16, 12 plus 4 is 16, right? Okay, so it'll be right there. And you want to take your square now. Let's get your square set up this way. You want to take your square. Oh, no, just one pencil per table, guys. I'm sorry. My fault. Thank you, Thomas. Okay, now the 16 inches goes from the end of the bow, so it goes from there. So I measure from there to there. That looks a little far. Let me see here. Let me double check that. Go ahead and finish your. Okay, that's 16. Now you want to make your straight. There you go. Very good. Okay, now what's this? How much is this? 12? Let's see, it's 4, 6. I'm sorry. That's 15. 7. We need 8 more, don't we? That's 14. There you go. So from here to there is 16 inches. So if you do that, you want to measure from here to here and make a mark right there. Okay? And do that on both your holes. Oh, you got one? Okay. You want to do that on both holes. There you go. Use that. Let's make a gauge. Let's make a gauge, okay? Ah, thank you. I forgot we didn't know we had those. Okay, how long did I say? It said 16 inches from the bow. Okay, now wait a minute now. That's the bow. Now I've made a gauge. In other words, from here to here is 16 inches. So if you measure this way, from there, inches, we're 16 inches. Okay, so how do you know which mark is which? How do you know which mark is the right one?
Because I just did this one and
Okay.
this one.
Well, let's make it this one. Let's make this one longer, okay? Yeah, that one's correct. So now when you get that there, and you want to take your square and put it on the bottom, and you bring your mark pencil up to the mark, and you make it. Four, that's 12, plus 4 is 16. You have the same thing.
That was my fault.
That's okay, 16 inches. Yeah, 16 inches. Okay.
You know what, 'cause I did it from the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody makes a mistake.
That was my fault.
Now, one thing about building a boat, you have to measure accurately and make sure your measurement. You're positive. Are you positive you got 16 inches? You guys got, and really needs to go right about there. And right about there. Now you can draw next to the lines you don't want. You can remark your lines there. Okay? And then we're going to take a stem, excuse me, and you want to put it with the wide end toward the back of the boat, toward the stern. And you want to line up the front of that stem just on the front of the bow like that. You're going to line it up just like this. You want it on above the top and the bottom at the same time, okay? And then we're going to get some glue, and we're going to glue them there.
Why are they uneven?
Well, that doesn't make any difference because we're going to cut them off anyway when they get on the boat. So I made them too long on purpose that way I can cut them short. If you're going to make a piece of wood, make it too long rather than too short so we have room to cut it off. So now we're going to get some glue out, and we're going to start gluing and clamping. Clamp. You're going to use these to hold things in place while the glue dries. You're going to be using a lot of glue and a lot of clamps. So once you put glue on one side of the stem and put it on the bow, you're going to take a couple of clamps like this. You're going to put them on there from that side, the ends I mean, like that. Well, supposed to. And we'll help you do it. And it's going to hold that in place until the glue dries. So I'm going to put a couple of clamps for everybody. Please don't lose these. They're reusable. We don't throw them away. Front part of that goes right along that mark. Right on that mark. Now, when you put it on, it's very important that it be flat. So when you do that, you have to hold it like this. You have to put it on the table, and you have to put the frame right up against it. And see, I have the bow here. I have the forward part of my frame right on that line. And you put glue on the frame, and you clamp it. Okay? So, commit now. We're going to put a piece on and put it on there permanently. Yep. I will. I'll start at this end, and he'll start at that end. Now, you don't need a whole lot of glue, but you want to cover the surface of the wood. Okay. Okay, these are the stems. You look at them, they're triangular. Okay, this is the bow.
No, this is the bow.
Well, this is the bow of the other one. We're going to put it on one hole only for the starting point. So that's the way it goes on there, just like that. Okay, see how it lays flat, so the point, the narrow part of the, is right out there. That's what you want to put it on there. That's how you want to put it on. So we're going to start with 1. Now this is the way it goes like this. Okay, this is the bow. It goes on this side like this. So you got a stick. Here's your mixing stick. Take some glue. Put it on there. You put it on there and clamp it. Very good. Now here comes the hard part. This is the hard part. Nice, nice. You got the touch. You got the touch. Are you having trouble getting that on? Let me help you. Okay, go ahead. That's okay, but let me help you. Put it on from this side. Whoops. Okay. It's easier to put the glue on the frame. It's easier to put the glue on the frame that you're going to do this part right here than it is to put it on the boat. Just a hint, just a hint. You can do it either way you want. But you can put this. Pardon? You can do that, yeah. It's a little easier to do it the other way. You got yours glued now? Okay, you can glue yours. You can glue yours. Very good. You can glue yours. You can glue yours. Just like that. Once you've got it fit properly, you can go ahead and glue it. Step, they're going to leave them until next week because all this glue has to dry. So be patient. What's the rule number 2 that Captain Gary put up there? Be patient, right? Captain Gary put rule 2 up there. It said be patient. So you got to be patient.
How many weeks does this take to build?
Probably about 4 weeks to build, or 4 or 5 weeks to build it, and then you'll spend some time painting them. But and about that time, it'll be time to build the big one. See, these will go on display at the Wooden Boat Festival over at downtown, and then they'll be yours after that, and then you can build the big one. Okay, one more step today, and we're done. You're going to put the stem on the other end of the boat. Take your other stem and glue it to the other end of the boat, just like you did the first one. So go ahead and don't use it on the side with the frame. Do it on the other boat, other side, the one that's already got glued on it. And I'll pass some more clamps out. But put. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, she had it right. Good. If you want to help each other, go ahead. I'm going to straighten this out a bit. It looks like it's shifted a bit. This is your last step for the day. You got enough glue on there? Looks perfect. Very nice. Very nice. Again, this is the way you're going to build the big boat. So you understand what you're doing now and try to remember. I know you won't, but try.
The bigger ones, you're going to have bigger clamps.
Bigger clamps, bigger pieces is going to take a lot more work. In fact, it's going to take 5 or 6 of you to put one piece on sometimes on the big ones. How big is it going to be? Well, let me see. It's going to be from about that wall. Let's see. It's going to be that from here to right about here, right about where you're sitting. That's how long your big boat's going to be. I'm going to demonstrate how this works. Okay, now, listen up. You'll notice each of your boats has B on each side of the bow or each side of the hull. Find the 2 B's, and they should go together like this. Find the 2 B's. We're going with one boat, so everybody pick one boat at the table. So let's start with one boat. Everybody pick a partner. You'll need to sit with her then, okay, because you need to help her. You're going to have to work together. You're going to have to work with her, okay? You have to work together. Pick one boat per table. One boat. And you'll do the other one, so you're going to work in pairs, all right? So who's going to work on this table? You 2 work together. Do your boat first. You 2 work together and do your boat first. You 2 do your boat first, and you 2 will do her boat first, okay? Listen up. Has everybody got the B's together? Do you have the B's together? That's right. That's right. Looks good. Where's the B on yours? Where's the other B? It goes like this. It goes like that, okay? You got your B's together?
This doesn't match. I think you did the wrong side.
Let's see.
Why are your eyes
Yes,
like
it'll work that way.
that? Why is it like this?
Okay. What we're going to do? You guys going to listen? Or you going to play? We're not. If you don't want to play, if you don't want to build the boat, let's don't build the boat. Okay? You want to build the boat?
Right. I got straight out and then turned
Okay.
a little bit.
We're going to put some glue on this surface, and you're going to use rubber bands to hold them together. It's going to be a first step. So, I'll get the glue out. And pour you each some glue and get some sticks out here, and you can put them together. Yep. So we're going to have to put rubber bands on that one. Then we'll do the other boat. Once you get one boat done, we'll do the other boat. Okay? Yep.
I put mine backwards. Mine don't work.
It'll be fine.
I need help.
It'll work. Okay, now the way this is going to work, I'll demonstrate on this one here. There's a stick. The way it's going to work, you're going to put some glue there, okay? And you're going to use rubber bands to hold this together. You're going to put a rubber band around it and hold it, okay? So watch over here, everybody. Watch how they do. Guys, are you two going to pay attention? All right, watch over here and see how they're doing it. You guys watch over here and see how they're going to do it. So go ahead and put the glue on there. It's going to tell you, then you'll do, when we get this boat done, you'll do the other one. You got to pay attention when you're building the boat. If you don't pay attention, it doesn't look right. It won't float. Okay? It's one thing you got to learn. Patience, listen at all times. Remember Captain Gary told you last week?
Where is Captain Gary?
He's on a boat trip today. He's out on the river. He had to be a mate on the boat. Yep. So he's okay. Now you want to put those together. You got a helper. It's going to take two of you, and make them even at the top. Now you're going to use a rubber band to hold it. So you're going to help her hold it, or one of you is going to have to hold it. One is going to put the rubber band on. You see what they're doing? We're working together on this.
How is the frame gonna go on?
You'll see. You'll see. Patience. What's that number two? Be patient, right? Patient.
What do you do?
You can double it. Twist it. There you go. Yep. Don't get your sleeve in there. Very good. It'll work. Just be patient. That's fine. All right, everybody, see how this looks? This is what you're going to do. Put some glue on one side. I'll give you rubber bands, and hold it together with a rubber band.
Good job.
There you go. Some of these may require doubling, some may not. Sorry. Let's put the glue down here so everybody can get to it, okay?
Thank you. I want glue.
Be sure you put plenty of glue on there. Why don't you help her?
But we can get it even.
There you go. Now you take your hand off. That's what you do. And now you line it up again, okay? And use that rubber band to hold it. Set it down. And even it up.
That's why I was trying to lift it up so I could.
There we go.
When are we gonna go to the museum?
When we're done with the boats. That thing didn't double up very well, did it?
The small boats or the big boats?
You're going to do the big boats after you do the small ones. Pull those. Listen. Hey, listen. All right, I think it's time to quit today if you're not going to listen. Are you going to listen? Well, then we'll get done. As soon as we get done. Now, listen up. What you're going to do is you're going to put some glue on this face of your frame. and you can put some glue on this other stem, and all you're going to do is bend them together like this. You're going to bend them together like that and put another rubber band on them. Okay? So finish one boat and then you do the other one. So you put glue on, yeah, you put glue there and you put glue there, and there's another couple of rubber bands. That's all there is to it. No, you're supposed to do that boat first.
Wait, no, I told him he's got some homework he
Oh,
needs to work on,
okay.
so I'm going to help him get started. and
Okay.
get his homework.
I'll do this one.
You got it on the wrong side, though. It goes on this face right here. That's the one that glues together. Let's get one boat done, then we'll do the other one.
All right.
We're having trouble.
Yeah, that one's a little loose, isn't it? Let's see. Let me double this one up and make it a little tighter. Okay, I want to hold your hand. Move your hand for a second.
We're having a little bit of trouble. Little boat
There you go.
difficulties.
There you go.
Did we do this piece right?
Yeah, just go ahead and bend these together. Put some glue over here now, on that side. You guys are making a mess. You guys are making a mess. There you go. What happened? Oh, you lost your rubber band, huh? Pardon? We don't need to right now. We might in a minute. But what we want to do is get the two ends together first without clipping that. That way they'll line up. So you put some glue on that. There you go. Well, you got to build this one first, okay? Be patient. What's number 2? Be patient. Okay, now hold it. Hold it a second. What's going on here? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There we go. There you go. There you go.
Do we need a rubber band as well?
Okay, now you need another rubber band.
That'd help.
Let's put another rubber band on that one. Okay,
Do this one?
just like that.
Do you need this one too?
Yeah, put 2 on there. Now,
Yeah, it's not even.
okay, now you're going to put one more rubber band on around the middle to hold it together. Let's see, let's get the right one out here. There you go. Put that around the middle so it'll hold the frame like that.
Okay.
Here you go. This will be even better.
Like,
Yes. And now,
like this?
set it down. Make sure everything's even. Hold it up. How's that look?
I think it looks fun.
Okay. That's the next. That's what it should look like when you're done. Okay. Now, you two can do your other boat the same way. Okay.
Captain Ron.
And you shouldn't need my help. You should be able to do it yourself.
Can we have a little bit more glue?
Sure. And here's some rubber bands. And
This one's a little too.
that can go around the middle.
Alright, so find
And let me get some.
The,
See what? Clamps don't work very well on these, but you can try. Okay, let me get some. That's a stern. That, just like that'll work. Okay. All right. How's yours look? How's that look? Pretty good. All right. Good. Now help him with his. Okay. Teamwork. Teamwork. How's yours look? That's looking pretty good. All right.
How do you know this is the right thing?
That one.
Sure, then.
Nice job.
Wow, right.
Now don't put that on now. No, that doesn't go on there yet.
Oh, no.
Doesn't go on yet. Now you help him with his, okay?
So you still gotta cut it.
Yeah. Well, you still got. Where'd I put it? There it is. Just one of these long sticks. One of these long sticks. We're gonna make chine logs. Everybody remember what the chine was? Anybody remember? Nobody remembers, do you? This is the chine of a boat right here. The sharp edge and the hull, that's a chine. You're going to put this piece in there today. It's called a chine log. I don't know why it's called a log, but it is. So it's called a chine log. Now, the way we're going to do this, first thing to do is on the bottom of your boat, put your piece of wood up there like this, and take a pencil, and what you're going to do is you're going to mark the angle of the bow on this using the pencil. Just like that. You're going to mark the angle of the bow, or the stern, doesn't make any difference. But make sure you got enough overhang you can make that mark on there with a pencil. And then I'll come around and cut that. That's the first step. So carefully make that mark. You got to be accurate. It's got to have an angle on it, like this. You'll put it on the bow like this, overhang it a little bit. That doesn't make a difference. Well, just put it. Just take your pencil. See, I got a little bit of overhanging there. See that? take your pencil and just run it along the front of the boat or the stern, like this, just like this. And you make a mark at an angle, okay? You make a mark at an angle like this, okay?
On both sides?
Well, just one side, okay? Just one side. When you do that, I'll come around. When you're done with that, I'll come around and cut that angle. You got that angle marked, okay? And then we'll go on to the next step. There we go. So once I cut that angle, just hang on to it for a second, then we're going to do something else. There you go. Make sure you hang on to that angle I just cut. Don't lose it. Don't know where it is, but good. Let me borrow your boat here and your stick. Where's your stick? Okay. Now, what you're going to do is turn the boat over like this. The chine log fixed down to these notches on the frame, right in here. So whichever side you cut, put inside the boat like this. All right, put it inside the boat. Slip it down in that little notch. Make sure it's flush with the bottom of the boat. By flush, I mean it's even. See this right here? See how that is right there? It's right up even with the bottom of the boat. And carry it all the way around to the stern with the other end of the boat like this. So I've got it held. Takes a little bit of ingenuity. I've got one end down where I cut it right on the stem. I've got one end being held by my finger over here at the very other end. There you go. That's good. Good. You got the idea. There you go. Just like that. Everybody got that? There you go. Now what you're going to do is your partner, somebody next to you, is going to take a pencil and he's going to mark just like you did before, right along there. Okay? So take turns marking for somebody, or if you want to do it yourself, you can. Yes. Pardon?
I can't get it in.
Let's see. Well, first I got to get that right side up. There we go. Okay, turn over. And hold it just like this. So I've got that held down here. Put one hand down there and one hand here. Okay. Now, can you take the pencil and mark the end of her boat down there? You should be able to mark the end of each other's boat if you want. It's hard to do when you're... Now, they're doing it on this side, so you can follow the edge of the boat.
Mark it right here.
No, like this. So I'm marking right along the edge of the boat. That way I get the same angle down there. So you want to turn it over and make a mark right there. Just like that. There you go. Just like that. Exactly. What you're doing is called beveling. It's called beveling. So there's a term for it called beveling. Okay, let's turn it over. Put this in this way. And hold it right there. Hold it right there. With your left hand right there. And bring your right hand down here. And hold that. And then I'll make the mark for you. We'll make a mark right along the bow here. There, see?
Now take it off.
Take it off. Okay, you got it marked? You got yours marked here?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I know where to cut it. Cut it a little bit short. There we go. Let me see who's next. You got yours done? Okay. Here's your mark right there. I'll cut this a little short because I know it's... Put one down in, one end, and slip it right in like that. Look how that fits. If you made your mark right, it'll fit just like that. Okay, where's your mark? Okay. Now you want to do the same thing with one of these to the other side, okay? Just the same thing you just did, but do it on the other side. You'll do this on the big boat also with a big piece of wood. It's going to take a lot of work. Okay, this is yours. You should be able to fit yours down in there. You should be able to fit yours in there. If you made your mark right, see, did you make your mark? There it is. There you go. You got That's your second mark made? Okay. Hold it. Let me show you how to do this. Take some dexterity. Hold it with your hand right there, your right hand. Now take your right, left. Ready to go yet?
That one's mine.
Okay. Okay, now you fit your first mark. That's your first mark?
On the other side there.
Yeah, I'm just making sure it's going to be long enough. Remember what you're doing now, because you're going to be doing that on the big boat, exactly what you're doing now. Exactly. There you go. Okay. Make the cut. I'll cut that one. Okay, now it's time to glue. Let's see. No, it's not. We got it upside down for one thing. No, we cut this wrong. You made your marks a little bit off. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, now we're going to glue. What you want to do is take them back out one at a time and put some glue all along the edge, right along here, and then put them back on and clamp them, okay? I'll get you some more clamps.
Can we use our cut-up pieces for glue sticks?
You can if you want. I got some glue sticks here if you want. Here's some glue for you guys.
Yeah, I'll just take them.
One at a time. Don't take them both out, because then you won't remember which side's on which. So take them both out, or take one out at a time and glue it. All right? One at a time. Don't take them both out.
Nah, I got it. But this one ain't like fit in like that one is.
I'll have to carve that out a little bit. I'll fix it in a second.
The ones that are cut already.
You can. Okay, that should fit. How you guys coming? Now that should go all the way up to the side. It should be right at the very bottom, okay? Nice, nice. Very nice.
I need some more clamps.
You need some more clamps, okay? Pine log. Now you're going to do the gunnels. Listen up. Listen up. You're going to do the gunnels. That's this part of the boat right here on the outside. That's called a gunnel. Gunnel. Just one today.
Sounds weird.
It does, I know, but that's what it's called. You know, you got me. Boat building is one of the most ancient projects man has ever attempted. I mean, boats have been built for thousands and thousands of years. And these terms grew up with that construction. Okay, now what you're going to do, all you need to do is take some glue, put it on your stick, and clamp it to the outside of the boat, just like this. We'll cut it next week when it dries. So it's going to go on just like this, on the outside.
Wait, what? I can't even put mine on the outside.
Look at the top. Where are you, at the top or the bottom?
Oh.
Oh.
So slow.
Just around the outside, right. Right along the outside, so it sits right up against the edge of the boat. Okay?
Sugar.
So you can start at one end, put some glue, get some more glue.
Or like, do you put it sideways? Like,
No, put down. See how it's flush? That's called flush. Okay, but you need to do that as you do it, go down. That's why you start at one end and work your way down.
Oh, so you go like this on it?
Then I start here with a clamp. I'll glue it and clamp it right here. And then I'll just keep going all the way down to the other end of the boat, okay? Nice. Now let's move it down a little bit farther this way so you have an overhang. It needs to go down here. Dorian, it needs to go down here. Dorian. It needs to come down this way a little bit. Let go for a second. It needs an overhang down here.
is this glue on your
Okay.
fingers?
It'll come off. But it needs to have some overhang down here, okay?
Going fast with me because I'm thinking about walking lanes on Sunday. I gotta tell Ms. Walker I'm not going
Need some more glue over here? Yeah, you need a little more, don't you?
Can't go on Sunday because I got a birthday party to go to.
There you go.
Huh?
What's this piece called you're putting on there?
His birthday.
I'm not gonna put stuff.
You got plenty of glue on now. What you want to do is just lay it up here, make sure there's an overhang, and put a clamp on it, just like this. Watch. We'll put a clamp on it, right there. Then you move down here and you set it up, and you put a clamp on it. It needs to be right against the top of this, so keep going with your clamps.
Okay. You know, Will,
Yeah, maybe. Will.
you're crazier than him.
Let's move this down just a bit so it's right at the top of the, it needs to be top of the flush to the top of the hull, okay? Need some more glue. I'll get you some more. We have lots of clamps. we have lots of clamps.
Because you're in 7th grade.
That don't make a difference. I'm smarter than one of the 8th graders.
You're 8th grade.
Very good. Nice job. This is what what it should look like when you're done. I don't know where to wash your hands. You have to ask. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Guys, this is what it should look like when you're done. See, it's nice and even with the top of the boat all the way down.
We need some more glue.
Boy. You guys are are you eating it or you're using it on the boat?
It's a metaphor.
It's like you're getting it mostly all over yourself.
It's a metaphor.
Metaphor. That's a big word. What's it mean?
It's like using. Yeah, it's
Like a what? A euphemism?
like a joke or something.
No, it's a term used to describe another term. It's kind of a term used to describe another thing.